Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I am back with another video. All right, y'all, just back with some WMMA news with some WMMA matchups. I was talking about this on a live stream last week, but I just kind of want to go back, and give y'all a little briefing on all three of these matchups here. We had some shakeups once again, some pullouts, and some all around just rescheduling on the WMMA scene and the UFC. First up, of course, it's fight week. April 10th, we got this matchup going down. This is probably the one matchup that I'm really looking forward to because I really want to see how this is going to go. It's kind of a shocker. As y'all know, Norma Dumont, she was set to face Bea Malecki at 135, but Bea Malecki had to pull out of the fight due to undisclosed reasons. So now we have former Invicta flyweight prospect stepping in, making her UFC debut at 135 against Norma Dumont. And first up, man, I gotta say this is kind of a shocker to me, just because I know Erin Blanchfield as I'm watching her in Invicta. I knew her as this promising flyweight. She has the skills, the size, and just all around youth on her side as far as just growing as a fighter. IQ and youth. She's so young, but at the same time, she's still developing. And every time she shows something new in her fights. But for her to step up to 135, man, I'm not sure if this is going to be a mistake. But it's going to be a tough fight because Norma Dumont is not a pushover. Norma Dumont, she was previously undefeated before she lost her first fight to Megan Anderson, her debut to Megan Anderson. And, since then, she's beat Ashley Evans Smith, and she's been looking good. She slowly comes down to 135. She's been looking a little bit stronger and faster, and she has some pop on her shot. So going into this fight, this is going to be a very, very tough matchup for Norma, for Erin Blanchfield. Norma Dumont, she's just not, like I said, an easy fight at bantamweight. I know that fighters, they want to take these UFC opportunities, so I definitely give Erin Blanchfield credit for that. I definitely got to say, okay, the opportunities coming into the UFC are not going to be the way you feel like they're going to be. They're not going to promote. They're not going to present themselves like you think they would. Like, okay, it's going to be laid out where I just come in at 125 and I'll get a shot against a non-ranked fighter, then eventually a top 15 fighter. You know what I mean? It's just gonna present itself in some way. Like, hey, we need somebody to step in. Are you game? You want it? Okay, you have it if you want it. But if you don't, hey, we'll call you in 2 or 3 years. That's how the situation can kind of be going into the UFC. So a lot of these fighters, like Sam Hughes, she stepped in on 6 days notice to take on Tisha Torres because they want to cross over. They want to get in there and they want to go ahead and take that opportunity while it presents itself. Sometimes that can be dangerous, especially for somebody Erin Blanchfield. She's like 21, 22 years old. I know opportunities will definitely come for her, but the money's not coming. These girls aren't getting fights, so they got to take it. I understand that. They definitely got to take it because, as y'all know, her last fight that was going to be set up was for the title in Invicta, the Invicta flyweight title against Pearl Gonzalez, but Pearl pulled out due to a positive test. So now here we are. She's been kind of on the back burner. She's been training, she's been staying ready. So I guess she's ready to get that release. So what better way to do that than a UFC debut? But 135 against Norma Dumont, this ain't gonna be an easy fight. It's coming up this weekend. If I got to look at it right now, I think it's gonna be a fight where Erin Blanchfield, she's either going to have to make sure she takes it to the ground, uses her jiu-jitsu, and keeps Norma Dumont on her back, and she has to keep top position, or keep this fight on the outside with her striking. She's the smaller, faster fighter in here, and she's been working on her striking last time out. If you looked at her last knockout fight against Victoria Leonardo, she went in there, blasted her out, switched levels with her striking, and set up a big head kick against the bigger fighter in Victoria Leonardo. So the possibility is there. I'm leaning towards Erin Blanchfield because I feel like she has the IQ and the smarts here. But don't be surprised if Norma Dumont puts that size and strength. And she also has an IQ. Don't be surprised if she puts that speed and strength on her and she tries to fight in the clinch. Because if they go in the clinch, Norma Dumont, she's going to use that size and those knees. But yeah, definitely going to be a good fight though. This one I'm looking forward to. And again, going back to the Invicta thing, that's something I will talk about in another video. Just because, like I said, it seems like a lot of these fighters that were on that last card that was supposed to take place, everybody from Montserrat Conejo, Emily Ducote, that's since that fight card is not happening, it just seems like it's kind of been up in the air for a lot of these fighters. So, Montserrat Conejo, she signed to the UFC too. She didn't wait around for that title fight with Emily Ducote anymore. You know, she jumped on over to the UFC. So I understand where Erin Blanchfield is coming from. Hey, they need this money and they want to grow as fighters. So now's the time. So yeah, that's coming up this weekend. Looking forward to that fight. Next up, April 17th, we have Jessica Penne versus Lupita Godinez. Former strawweight champion, former LFA strawweight champion Lupita Godinez. This is another fight I'm looking forward to here because, as y'all know, Jessica Penne, she's making her comeback after getting popped 2 years ago. So she's been on a 2-year suspension. And she was going to come back March 27th on UFC 260 against Hannah Goldie. But Hannah Goldie, she tested positive. So, you know, that fight was going to be rescheduled. But, hey, Jessica Penne, she's stepping in against Lupita Godinez. This is going to be a good fight, man. I like the chances of Lupita going in here making a big statement. You know, she has a good, solid name, you know, a former veteran. And former strawweight veteran Jessica Penne, this is a good name for her. In this fight, I can see Lupita winning. You know, Lupita's a very good boxer, very physically strong. Good all-around kickboxer. You know, she has speed. She can be drawn into a firefight sometimes, but I think this is a fight where she don't really have to worry about that. She can go in there, use her hand speed, and really piece up Jessica Penne in this fight. Really, really good time for her to take this opportunity, seeing that she did win the belt. Now, I was looking forward to Lupita Godinez versus Vanessa Demopoulos too. That would have been a good fight. You know, I definitely wanted to see that rematch because that was like candidate for fight of the year last year. Not if, you know, if Whaley versus Wmma didn't happen, then Lupita versus Vanessa, that first fight, man, they were throwing down, blood everywhere, cuts all over, punches flying. You know, just both of these fighters showed a lot of heart. So I expect Lupita Godinez to go in this fight too, showcase her boxing once again, touch up Jessica Penne, and just make a, you know, all-around solid debut in the UFC. So with that, if the LFA strawweight championship is vacated now, then in another video I'll talk about this. I want to see Loveth Young versus Vanessa Demopoulos too. That rematch should happen, which I'll do a video on that next. Last but not least, man, third time's a charm. Hopefully third time is a charm for Poliana Botelho. Once again, has an opponent switch up. This is her third one for May 1st. Poliana Botelho is taking on Luana Carolina. Finally, hopefully, I'm saying, fingers crossed, everybody. But Poliana Botelho, she was originally supposed to take a fight with Jin Kim, but Jin Kim pulled out of that fight, undisclosed reasons. And then who stepped in next? What is her name? I'm drawing a blank right now. Mayra Bueno Silva. Mayra Bueno Silva was supposed to step in, but as y'all know, I talked about in the live stream, she had to pull out due to a back injury. So she's out. Now we have Luana Carolina, which is going to be a good fight. You know, Luana Carolina, her last fight out, she suffered a brutal submission loss via knee bar to Ariane Lipski. Suffered a minor tear in her ACL, so she was out for 6 months. So yeah, she's looking to make the return. She didn't have to have surgery. So yeah, this is gonna be a good fight. Good stand-up fight between these two. I think Poliana Botelho, you know, she has a very good Muay Thai style, physically strong fighter. Luana Carolina's got that reach, and you know, she's a tall, slim fighter. I want to see her go in there and try to erase that memory of the Ariane Lipski fight, which I know is gonna be tough. Because Ariane Lipski, boy, she went in there, she was playing the slot machines on that leg, boy. When she pulled Luana Carolina's leg back, damn. But yeah, third time's a charm, hopefully. Fingers crossed for Poliana Botelho. May 1st, like I said. All three of these fights I'm kind of looking forward to. I just wanted to do a video on these just because, you know, it's such a shakeup. You know, nothing's ever set in stone now with the positive tests going on and just undisclosed reasons, injuries, you know, things like that. But let me know in the comment section which fight are y'all looking forward to. Like I said, Erin Blanchfield, she's one of the prospects that I've been really like following closely. You know, I've seen pretty much all of her fights. And as one that's given her a lot of credit, you know, my year in review last year, you know, like I said, she's one of the top prospects of the year. As one that's been watching her and what she's capable of, I'm actually I'm a little bit nervous for her in this fight, just because I know Norma Dumont is a good big fighter. Like they say, the good big fighters beat the little good fighters. But in this fight, Erin Blanchfield doesn't have to be the little good smart fighter. You know, she's gonna have to make sure she's the smarter fighter in there in order to beat Norma Dumont. But it's gonna be a good fight, explosive. Like I said, Lupita Godinez, she's gonna go in there and do work with Jessica Penne, and hopefully Poliana Botelho gets her fight with Luana Carolina. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section what y'all think of these fights, these matchups. What do you think of Erin Blanchfield's chances against Norma Dumont? Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.